welcome to From the Pink Seats podcast here on the State of Louisville Podcast Network. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to get you early this week. Get down there, hit the subscribe button, hop in the comments, let's talk about the baseball boys. Talk about them getting a big dub as of the day of recording, 8-1, I believe. That's what it was before the rain delay.
As Keith and I are setting up in here, Keith is setting up. I'm over here watching, listening to some Limp Bizkit. But as we're getting set up, we just start scrolling through Twitter like, oh my gosh, what is going on? Jody Demling's over here cussing and stuff. I mean, we're like, wow, this is crazy. But good to see they're getting a dub and everything. Hopefully, they can. Yeah,
fingers crossed they can clean it up. And by the time this comes out, we're getting ready to hit the College World Series.
There truly is nothing better than, as a Louisville fan, postseason baseball and Jim Patterson. Have you ever been?
So... a little bit of inside baseball. I might be going tomorrow.
Okay.
Depending on how things shake out.
It is awesome. It is just... It's hard to explain.
It was electric on TV today.
For sure, yeah.
Look, I know scalpers had to get in and get their fair share, but we sold that thing completely out in like an hour.
Yeah, that impressive.
Was nuts.
Now imagine that college football playoff. Hosting a home
hit
game.
Everybody. Hit people.
That'd be a good time.
The best way to get dibs is to get season tickets. Dylan Bickle, you owe me one if you get a call because of this.
That'd be the one where I'd be hammering my, hey, Miss Denise, alumni get tickets for this game, right?
So, been a little bit since we recorded, though. Vince, how you been?
Good. Riding solo. Emerson's in Italy right now, so I'm having to all, everyone, a little peek into my personal life. My fiance is in Italy for 2 weeks, so I'm single parenting a dog and 2 cats.
There you go.
Not fun.
Cats are great.
Yeah, cats are great, but the dog's sad 24/7.
Yeah, because they miss.
Can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it. So that's it. Yeah. Personal life. Still haven't found that snake that we talked about a couple. And the mixture of the snake and cicadas has definitely been fucking with me with mowing the grass. So if anybody wants to come over and mow the grass, go ahead. I'm good though. Enjoying the Brady bombs. Those are the best.
So right after we recorded the last episode and it went up, at a very active recruiting weekend. As of the time this will be 2 weekends ago,
right?
Where had a slew of visitors on campus and came out with 3 commitments.
That's pretty good.
All in the first. So before we dive into the upcoming recruiting weekend and the following recruiting weekend, let's dive into a little bit of our new commits. First off, Nick Louder, 6'5", 230-pound, 3-star tight end out of Lebanon, Ohio. Had a chance to watch the tape, Vince. What'd you think?
I absolutely loved this kid. You knew I was going to say, exactly. Kid. He's the kid that I've been talking about that I just have wanted to see in this offense, of a kid that is more than comfortable with putting his hand in the dirt, but also more than comfortable with being in a 2-point stance, running routes, not just necessarily in a tight or squeeze set, but whenever he's split out wide, like he is fully capable of running routes. I enjoyed the fact that he's physical at the point of attack. So much so that even whenever he doesn't get his head across on certain plays, the way he runs his feet, he's still going to end up pancaking the kid.
And that's the sort of thing I love about the kid is the wrestling background.
Oh, yeah.
Where it allows you to be able to navigate those sort of situations and optimize utilizing your leverage in the ways that you can that a lot of football players don't have because they don't wrestle. They don't have that background.
And what makes a lot of good tight ends really just special. When you listen to Rob Gronkowski or Travis Kelce talk about how they run their routes, George Kittle, they're running their route, and like that's why they always laugh, like ha ha ha, tight end we don't really look at the playbook. Travis Kelce's out there kind of doing whatever. Gronk didn't know any of the. No, they knew the plays, but they also know how to stay very friendly to the quarterback.
Exactly.
So this kid does that really well at this age, where I mean, like that's something, if it's popping out on film, on rub routes, stuff coming across the middle, he's not just overrunning his quarterback and causing for, tougher throw. He's, pitch and catch right there, and he's getting upfield, and he's definitely getting yards. He runs well too.
Yeah, and you know what? We're gonna do a little educating here. So being friendly to your quarterback as a route runner. If you've been following ball a long time, that's doing the little things, sort of like, it might be calling for like a full-blown like drag route across the middle of the field, but you see the defense is playing a cover 3 and you've got a hole dead nuts in the middle of the field. You just sit there and wait for your quarterback to hit you wide open. Or
they tell you all the time, don't be a robot. Yeah. Don't run the lines. Yes, don't go out there willy-nilly running whatever you want to do.
This ain't free-form jazz.
Exactly.
But
exactly. You might, like Des Fitzpatrick's the best example. Whenever I was at Louisville, he ran on senior day. I guess Des probably knew he wasn't going to get in trouble on senior day, which I don't blame him. Had a locked curl, and I signaled the play, and I knew what was happening. It was just curl flats, just typical. Everything's locked, no ifs, ands, or buts. That's what you're running. Des saw press with nobody over top, and he said, "F that, I'm running to go."
Yeah, and that's just smart route running and being a smart receiver.
Be a ball player.
If you have a tight end who's able to do that, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And we beat out some big programs for this kid. Wisconsin, Baylor, and the school to the east were some of the ones that were in on this kid, and we came out the victors. So one that we've been waiting on for a while to commit. This kid was here multiple times during spring ball on non-official visits. This kid finally came on a visit for you all in the future a couple weekends ago.
Yep.
Josiah Hope, big interior D lineman from North Hardin. Another Kentucky kid, 3 stars in some services, 4 stars in other services, 6'3", 300 pounds.
Big.
And like you hear that and you're like, oh, this is a big lumbering, eat a double team D tackle, and that's what he's going to bring. And while he can do that, this kid's quick off the ball.
Yeah.
He's got a great first step. I love this guy.
He makes great plays. I have it written down like you do, Keith. He's great off the ball. He's great with his hands. Finishes tackles extremely well.
Yes.
He's not, getting in there and just grabbing at the jersey and slinging a guy down that you see a lot of times from, let's be honest, a 300-pound defensive lineman. You're at the high school level. Yeah. You're going to run up against some scrawny little running backs sometimes that you can just grab and sling. No, this kid is hitting them and finishing them. A couple things, although we're high on him, I'm going to point some things out. His get off is paired with, if you pay attention to him jumping the snap count, his eyes are on the football very as they should be as a defensive lineman. You're a linebacker. You're sitting there saying, watch football. How the hell you jump off sides? You're right in front of the football.
Yep.
Now, that could be something I could see potentially biting this kid in the ass on maybe a hard count, maybe a quick count, because he does start out on that knee and then raises up to get in his stance, which a lot of people do at this level, at the college level. Good defensive lineman can do that. It's just, as an offensive lineman, Keith, you could, if you get up there and you're in the huddle and you say, all right, we're going quick on these guys, first sound, snap the ball and we're going. Defensive lineman doesn't know that. He's still in a knee. Who's at a disadvantage?
Oh, yeah. You're going to get washed out immediately.
That's just some things that he can work on, but that's coachable stuff.
You mean to tell me he's not going to step on campus and be year 4 Detroit Lions and Ndamukong Suh?
Exactly.
Outrageous.
But even then, if you go back and watch Yaya Diaby's film, you will see plays where Yaya starts out on a knee and raises up just to see what the full formation is, and that helps a defensive lineman just as much as it helps a linebacker, safety, corner to be able to see the full thing, because they do scouting too. They might know, oh, hey, shit, it's 2x2 right here.
Yep.
With him, 5 yards next to then they can just break things down and, figure out a play themselves.
Yeah, here comes the motion. It's going to be a pull play. Let's get ready to blow up this guard coming our way.
But I love this kid.
He's got the tools.
Yeah, he's going to be a beast.
I'm really excited about the investment, just as a whole, that the team seems to be making an interior D lineman, because we are pouring in interior D linemen.
Yeah, the next kid that we're talking about is...
Yeah, I was going to say, before we jump off, Josiah Hope, teams we beat to get him, LSU, Vandy, Auburn, Purdue, that school to the east again. You're going to notice a reoccurring trend here on these guys.
Yeah. you like to be associated with those other SEC schools. So that's a good group to be in.
To be beating those schools for kids too. And not even like the Mississippi States of the SEC. Like
where's
LSU.
Where's this kid go to high school again?
North Hardin.
North Hardin, right?
Yeah, just south of here.
Majority of those kids, if they're outside of Louisville, for the past 10 years, 20 years,
have gone to the east.
Yeah, damn near locked to go to Kentucky.
Especially kids who are in the trenches.
Exactly.
Like
so to see a kid like this coming to Louisville, now it's not like these kids weren't on campus. I was there in 2019 where we had Octavius Oxidine on campus, or 2020, whenever that was. Like, I remember these kids from county schools coming into Louisville. It's just they weren't picking us because they grew up Kentucky fans.
Yeah.
And because Kentucky would put a little bit more effort in and because they were just a little bit better than us at the time. But now the tables have flipped and we're going to start getting a lot of these kids.
And honestly, just the state of Kentucky in general is putting out a lot more blue chip prospects.
These are great foundational pieces to have in the state.
And, speaking of winning in areas that traditionally the school to the east wins, let's go ahead and move on. Another interior defensive lineman, and I always want to make his last name German, even though I know it's not. Jamarcus Weiss, not Weiss.
Weiss.
6'2", 265. Again, this is a 3-star some services, 4 stars other services kid, D lineman out of Dayton, Ohio. And he is more of that power prototype defensive
That's exactly
tackle.
What I got out of this kid. He looks strong as fuck.
And this is Ohio football, high league Ohio football, and he's just bullying kids.
Exactly, he's bullying kids. The thing I would love to see him do, which both these defensive linemen have things that a college coach is sitting there saying, "Oh, this is all I have to work with." Okay, no, a kid that comes in with no attitude problems and looks great and is built awesome, and I just had to tweak a few high school things. Awful. But I just want to see him whenever he's in the backfield break down a little bit better whenever he's coming down to make a tackle. I see him playing a little bit higher, stuff he can get away with at the high school level. I don't blame him. I played high myself at the high school level at times. Yeah. It's just like one of those things that high school players do. And I like this kid just purely off his strength. It reminds me a lot of Jared Dawson. Just strong kid with a good get off.
Can be a menace in the run game just because he's not letting an individual blocker get to the next level.
And you see him use his hands well. He has plays where he uses his hands well in this clip. I just would love, or in his huddle, I would love to see him do it every play because he has the capability to do it.
Other things I like, something that you don't see a lot with linemen in general, just super high motor.
Yeah.
Like a lot of guys, play gets away from them. Okay, I'm a lineman. I'm not going to catch up. Let's get a puff. Just do our lineman run downfield to get
Coach
ready.
Bob Beatty would call that the fat man shuffle.
Yeah. This kid doesn't do that. He's always hunting, trying to make a play. And I love his eyes. And part of that comes from...
Are they nice and blue?
So, he's able to get his hands inside, fire off, and we talked about that. Yeah. But as soon as he gets that sort of separation from his blocker, his eyes are up and looking in the backfield or following his assignment, tracking what's going on, and he's able to see what's going on, and that allows him to make more plays.
You never really want to see at all at D-lineman, linebacker, DB, anybody when they're taking on a block, just sitting there, pitter-patter in their feet with their head, might take a peek or whatever. Yeah. It's also, realizing with your eyes, having your eyes up, just where the ball is going and not picking the wrong side. Exactly. I know there are so many freaking defensive linemen or linebackers. Yep. That will be like, and they're going that way. It's like, shit.
And look, Louisville wasn't the only program that loved this kid. Some of the schools that we were competing with for other scholarship offers, Notre Dame, Tennessee, Michigan State, Auburn, Illinois. That school to the east again.
So he picked us for academics.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So that sort of puts a bow on, as of the time you're watching this, 2 weekends ago, recruiting visit, those 3 new commits. So we're in this weird window of time now. So it's the upcoming weekend for us as we record. After it comes out, it'll be last weekend. So fingers crossed, a couple of these kids.
6 Brady bombs in one day. I'm just expecting just a full-blown boom, 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 boom. Just Brady bomb. They get me so fired up when I see a Let's Play Football. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. I just keep refreshing Twitter. Just like, come on.
So this upcoming weekend, we're supposed to have 6 scheduled. We ended up with 5 coming, 1 committed to Clemson yesterday. So needless to understand, that visit got canceled.
Yeah.
So visitors coming this weekend or the previous weekend as you're watching us. Sam Dawson, committed interior D lineman from South Oldham.
Yep.
Shout out to Dave Skull, the Fighting Biscuits.
There you go. Yep.
So he's going to be coming, as well as a couple non-committed kids who we've had our eye on for a while as a program. And we're not going to sit here and talk about all the visitors because realistically, if we end up with 1 or 2, that's a really successful weekend.
Yeah,
so,
right. Seriously. Especially just leaving the weekend. I mean, because guys will go on OBs and just like fall in love and commit, and then they'll take their next OB and it's like, oh my God, I love this now. It's just
LeBron Hill.
Yeah, LeBron Hill or freaking old buddy Florida State.
Chubba
Purdy. Provided for the worst 48 hours of my life.
So the non-committed kids coming on the visit. First one, 3-star cornerback, Radarian Daniels out of Mississippi. Just recently got a crystal ball to Ole Miss. So took an OV there. Guess it went well.
Do us a favor, Jordan Watkins. Throw us a bone. Tell him it's not that fun. Just one. Just do a favor.
So 6'1", 180. I think he needs to put on a little weight, but I like his just skeletal frame. We seem to have a type when it comes to recruiting defensive backs.
Right.
It's just like shout out. I'm just getting all the Louisville media shout outs.
Yeah, right.
Mike Rutherford with relationships to football or to sports advice, like the typical dating line. Oh, if he ain't 6 foot, I don't want him.
Yeah.
That's our D-back scouting.
I mean, and I'm okay with that for real. I mean, at this point, the bigger DBs it's a cheat code in press.
Yeah. And he also he maintains good eyes. I know that's something that we've struggled with in the past season, just poor discipline, poor eyes. And he does a good job of, for lack of a better word, coming up with the ball or making a play on the ball in chaos. So you watch his highlights and there's multiple times where there's 3 or 4 guys going up for the ball and he somehow comes down with it, or he's the one who makes a play batting a ball away. So he's able to go up and make plays. This is a good kid. Sounds like it's not leaning great for us, but I mean, I'm not gonna poo-poo a kid just because he's not picking us.
Yeah, I will. No, I'm kidding. I won't do that.
The Jake Cook slander tour begin.
I completely agree with you on everything that you just said, Keith. It would be a blessing to get this kid. If we don't, we'll see you in 2027 when you're in the portal, maybe. And also, for those of you who are going to stick around, you're going to hear defensive backs mentioned a lot. So we are still aggressively, we are aggressively pursuing the position. Yeah.
Next defensive back, DeMonte Timms. This was a guy we watched a little bit of before we started recording. 3-star defensive back out of Florida, 6'1", 200 pounds.
Love this kid. Yeah.
This kid's got impressive speed.
Yes, this kid comes downhill very, very fast. Good in coverage, just a little bit undersized at the position, but I'm curious as to, he's like the perfect nickel dime guy. He very much, when I was watching the film, gave me Honey Badger vibes.
Yeah.
Like just the way he comes up with the football, how downhill he is. I'm like, all right, I can get behind this kid for sure. I like this one a lot. I'm fingers crossed on him.
Yeah, this is a kid. I was in the metaphorical film room watching this kid, and I had to keep watching his highlights because I joked that the ball just miraculously sort of finds its way into his hands, whether it's fumble recoveries or interceptions.
The kid just knows ball, man.
But also, you go back into a rewatch and he's versatile. Some of those positions he's playing outside corner, then other times they have him lined up as a nickel. And this kid, he weighs 200 pounds, puts on 10 or 20 pounds. You could line him up at star if need be.
Exactly.
And then you have a great coverage safety linebacker hybrid you can throw in.
Yeah, this kid, being the capability of moving him around, and even like the dime package, like at 6'1", possibly the 6 foot range,
popping like a dime safety.
Well, not even put him at the dime safety. Coach Grantham used to have this package where he would move Josh Harvey Clements down into the linebacker position.
Oh, okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Something like that, where
like obvious passing down.
Yeah, obvious passing down, but I mean, or something. Maybe they have a lot more weapons on the outside, and they obviously can still run the football. You might bring a kid like this down into the box who is more than comfortable with coming downhill, who hits pretty freaking hard.
Yeah.
Like
I also like this kid is like sort of a matchup equalizer if we have to go up against a good pass catching tight end.
Right.
Like, okay, this kid's 6'6", 230, can go make a play. Okay, we've got a 6'2", 220-pound defensive back to put on him.
Right.
Have fun. This is not the mismatch you think it is.
Kid could be a linebacker.
Yeah. So
like CJ Avery started out as a safety. Was
true. Put on some muscle in college.
Put on some muscle.
Go be a thumper.
Go be a linebacker.
So other offers this kid has: Colorado, Miami, and Georgia are the biggest programs. There is one Herculean size obstacle on that recruiting path I see.
Yeah.
It's like, because usually if Georgia wants a kid, Georgia gets a kid.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can leverage some relationships, maybe leverage playing time, something. This is going to be a tricky one to win, but Devontae Timms, if we land this kid, get excited about it. This kid can ball.
It's going to be hard to fend off Georgia, man. It's just so, like, it's tough. It's tough out here.
A couple other ones. We won't be as long on these guys. Charlie Edgeworth out of Baylor High School in Tennessee. 6'7".
Who else goes to Baylor?
Oh, that would be one Louisville quarterback commit, Briggs Cherry.
Bingo.
Who I believe is going off to Elite 11 camp this upcoming weekend.
And who had a really good camp with Louisville this past weekend as of us recording this episode.
So potentially an opportunity there. 6'7", 325 pounds.
Can't coach that, Keith.
Can't coach size.
Can't coach that. I see where we're going with here, because, I mean, the kid definitely has things that he needs to work on.
Yeah.
And once he gets into the collegiate program, just first step, getting his head across, typical offensive lineman stuff. That
I mean, a lot of
coachable.
stuff that strength training and puberty normally fixes.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, this kid is a kid, like a no-brainer almost offer. Like, he's a 3-star for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
But like, he's just so big.
Yeah, a massive frame. And I like the attitude that he plays with. Like, every single highlight on his tape, it's him usually run blocking and finishing a play throughout the whistle, washing guy down. They fall down. He's going down on top of them.
Love that.
Pushing a kid down as they get up, push him down again. Playing with a little bit of a mean streak, which I love in my offensive lineman.
Need that.
The controlled violence.
Yes, controlled violence.
He plays with that sort of edge. Like, and in the high school ranks, it's like, he's bigger than you.
Yeah.
And he knows it.
Yeah.
So
I would like to see, I didn't see very many pass pro.
That's sort of where the concerns rise for me. Like, mobility isn't the greatest for him. That's why, like, you're 6'7", 325, you're a 3-star recruit, and you're playing right tackle, and you're not at like a IMG Academy or something like that. There's a catch. So I think this kid's ceiling might be right tackle at the college level just because of mobility. But
I said guard before the show.
Yeah.
If he gets some mobility, I mean, like,
we better be getting some tall ass quarterbacks if we're going to move him to guard. So
I just picture Makai and the Eagles last year, and I'm like, oh man, I just want really big interior offensive linemen.
So the recruitment for this kid has become a bit of a 2-horse race at this point. Had offers from teams like Syracuse, Purdue, Florida, put an offer out on him, but it's between us and old boy Mr. Stoops to the east. It seems to be a 2-horse race for this young man, so anytime we can stick it to them, I'll take it. I mean,
it's a simple selling pitch. Do you want to win or do you want to lose?
Exactly. Do you want people cheering for your conference or do you want people cheering for you?
Yes. Do you just want to be, a filler until basketball gets here?
Exactly.
Or do you want to have an actual purpose?
Yeah. So that's a curious one. I think if we do get a commitment this weekend, I think him or the next kid we're going to talk about are going to be the two most likely if we do get one coming out of the weekend.
Yep.
But Briggs, put in some work with your boy. Come on, let's get him in. And then one last kid who was visiting, who was he was unranked by some recruiting services. Others have him as like a mid to high 3-star. Tristen Hill, and 5'11", 190 pounds. Does not play like it.
Yeah,
my word, this kid's tape
That's
is
what I was pulling my notes up over here on what we had, because we watched this kid before we were recording this. Physical football player, not an ankle grabber at all. Because I mean, like at DB, let's be honest,
especially undersized DB.
Yeah, right. Let's be honest here. You'll see a lot of ankle picking, but this kid by no means is an ankle picker. He's going to run through the middle of your chest. Yeah.
No, like my notes on him, I have just one word. Thumper written down.
That's a good one to summarize the kid.
This kid will hit. I think he's got like 4 or 5 speed coming out of high school too, which is not bad.
Not bad.
Like not elite by any stretch, but you're going to find a hell of a lot of players slower than a 4.55. So.
And if he covers well at the next level, if he just covers well, there are a lot of DBs that he could beat out just based off physicality.
Yeah. So
just being honest.
So if before this episode drops, we get some Brady bombs, it's probably one of the kids we talked about. So get ready for this episode to come up, get you up to speed.
I bet Brady's in these meetings with them, and the kid's like, "All right, coach, I'm going to commit right now." And Brady's like, "Wait, from Pink Seats, they haven't released yet. Hold off."
He's a big fan of the show.
Hold off.
So now we sort of, just because of the recording schedule we've been on the offseason, we've been a little bit on the back foot having to put these out after visits and whatnot.
Right.
So now it's the two of us. We're going to take that step forward and we're going to be proactive. So you're not only getting 2 recruiting visit weekends, you're getting a 3rd visit.
Yep.
So this is future Keith and Vince talking. No flying cars yet. It's only been a few days. But so
I would definitely take those Nike shoes though.
Yeah. As you're listening to this, as this comes out probably on like the 13th or something like that, this upcoming weekend will be the 3rd recruiting weekend out of 4 consecutive weekends we've had.
I don't miss this time frame.
Oh God, they're so busy
working in this. Like it is just miserable because the player. Like I remember being a player. I'm sorry to go on this rant, but I remember being a player and getting hurt and thinking, wow, like I'm gonna have. And sat and them offered me that spot to come up and work with them. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have a lot more like free time to like, especially in the summer, to like golf and drink some beer with my buddies. And, because it's like I have a job. I was thinking, 9 to 5 type deal. Not at all. Did not account for OVs. Did not account for camp season.
No.
Camp season and OVs at the same time is just pure hell for any support staff. So I'm just going to tip my cap to all the support staff that are definitely going through it right now, and
keep on grinding.
Yeah. Make sure that
maybe you can end up on a podcast.
Yeah, just make sure the coffee pot's filled up. That's the only advice I have.
So for this upcoming weekend, 8 visitors currently scheduled. Who knows if we get to squeeze another 1 or 2 in.
Right.
Only one kid that's already committed coming on this upcoming visit, Cavante Hugan, who D lineman we talked about on an earlier pod. Absolutely love that kid. Yep. I think the only reason he's not a mid 4-star is because of his measurables.
Yeah.
Kid's a ball player. I would not be shocked.
And I love kids that are already committed coming on OVs with kids that are not committed.
Sell the program for us. So with this, we're not going to go super, super duper into depth on these kids upcoming because it's like 2 weeks in the future for us. Come on, give us a break. So as we sort of come up, though, we did take a peek at a couple. One that I'm really excited about, edge rusher Ashari Charles.
Yeah.
4-star across the board, everyone, not this 3-4-star, like bona fide 4-star kid, 6'2", 230 kid out of Venice, Florida. We watched the tape and honestly, it reminds me so much of Ashton Gelati just bona fide power rusher, high IQ, high motor, will bull rush through any sort of defender, great push-pull moves.
You think Ashton now, but I showed you that clip. I freeze framed that he has one where you can just see the level change is getting ready to be there. It's just he either hasn't been coached it or the flexibility isn't there. For me, this kid reminds me of Devontae Fields.
Okay.
Just the size, the capability, the get off, the wide stance that he has in the 3-point. Like Ashton's seemed more compact, maybe tighter. I'm just trying to it seems like this kid's back leg is back a little bit more of like a sprinter stance. Like I'm going to get off.
Yeah.
The separation he causes is going to be nice. You can just see that this kid's going to have 4 months of running the hoop, dipping that shoulder down, and he's going to be fighting for playing time. Yeah, like, this is a kid. I think that if he gets on campus, year one, he will be in on third down packages.
Yeah, like I guess more of the Ashton comparison is the power rush arsenal.
100%. Yeah,
the not super elite size, like being 6'2" instead of like 6'5", 6'6", because like you watch his repertoire, and as of right now, it's basically bull rush, rip, push, pull, just overpowering a ton of South Florida offensive tackles.
Fields was an All-American. Like I don't know if he was coming out of high school, but I know he was a freshman All-American at TCU before he came to Louisville. But this kid has that capability too to be a freshman All-American in the ACC conference. I think he has that level of skill, and if he comes in and is coachable, that he could potentially be one of the better pass rushers as a freshman in the ACC.
Yeah, well, it's not going to be a easy recruiting win.
This is a dogfight.
Oh, every P4 school in Florida is going. Every D1 school except for Florida International has offered him. Surprisingly enough, even the Boca boys are like, you know what? Maybe we'll get lucky.
Yeah, right.
FIU, nah.
Not even gonna waste our time.
So Florida State, Miami, Missouri is up there in his recruitment as well.
We cannot get beat out by great value Scott Satterfield. Can't do it.
Or is Satterfield the great value Eli Drinkowitz?
No. Fuck no. And I will tell you, this is why, Keith. Eli Drinkowitz was handed a Corvette at App State. All he had to do was turn the car on and keep the wheels on the damn road. That man was handed nothing but just pure talent and boys that knew how to go out there and win football games. And he used Scott Satterfield to piggyback and get a freaking ACC job or SEC job. He is great value Scott Satterfield. I will die on that hill.
And also that school to the east is trying to recruit this kid too. So
fair. Yeah. We know how we feel about him.
Yeah. Another one. I dove into his tape. I don't think I had you dive into this one. Julius Miles, 6'6", 210-pound tight end, also out of Florida. So I just dove in on this kid's tape, and it's a fascinating player to watch because, one, we're going after more tight ends. But this is a kid, because of his size, he plays out wide quite a bit, and he's one of those guys who you put him on the field, unless you have a special like 6'2", 6'3", thick defensive back who can cover and thump, he's an instant size mismatch.
That's awesome.
This kid is massive, and he's not just massive for the sake of being massive. He's got great ball skills too. Like if he lost 10 pounds, he'd probably just be a wide receiver.
I think we're hammering so many tight ends, man, because we
spring ball was bad for us, man.
Yeah, I mean, they
so
were all
many
hurt
injuries.
Yeah, but at the same time, why not go after these big name, big caliber tight ends? Because we don't have one that's truly established themselves as a true. I'm the threat.
Come on, Dylan, I believe in you. This is the year.
Yeah.
So that was a kid who I watched who I really liked. A couple other kids before we Jordan Crutchfield, who we talked about previously. That was back. We talked about him on the live show at Kern's Corner.
Yep.
I believe when he put out his top 10. A couple other kids. Adam Gem, 6'6", 240-pound tight end out of Pennsylvania. Big old boy. Bryson Maddox, 6'5", $185, wide receiver out of Tennessee. This one doesn't go to the same high school as Briggs Cherry, unfortunately. We seem to have a trend for Tennessee recruits, so it catches me off guard.
Yeah.
Chris Brunson, a 6'2", 180-pound cornerback out of Georgia. And then one we sort of they sort of jumped out to us as we were show prepping, because this is another kid who didn't have a consensus rating as I'm putting together the notes. And then right before we record, he's a 88. Like, he's almost a 4-star recruit.
Yep.
Koshi Barnes. I'm going to go with Koshi because I don't think his name's Kuchi or Kushi.
Okay, well, I was thinking more the NIL. You have a dirty mind. You get your head out of the gutter. But I was thinking more Yoshi. We could do some Yoshi NIL with this kid. It would be awesome. Yeah, that would be perfect.
So Koshi Barnes, 6'3", 190 pounds. You already know I love the measurables on this kid.
Yep.
Vince, you had a chance to get in and check him out?
Pull my notes back up. My phone. Yeah,
pull those notes up. Pull those notes up.
Sorry. This was the kid, Keith, whenever we were watching, we were like, wow, his wide receiver highlights are awesome.
Yeah.
But this poor kid, I think it's more the camera work at the high school than it is anything.
And I think
you guys should go watch the highlights, because I feel bad for the camera guy, because I know he's doing his best. Because it's probably some dad up there but I love this kid. I think he high points the ball well. That's what I have in my notes.
Elite high
sorry
point.
Sorry if I'm stealing your thunder on that.
No.
But yes, definitely high points the ball well. I think that comes with him being a wide receiver, also playing DB. Jair Alexander, I know it's a huge comparison to make for a kid, but Jair also played wide receiver, DB. A lot of times DBs don't play wide receiver because
there's a stereotype. Yeah.
DBs can't catch. They always say the worst catching wide receivers make for the best DBs.
Yep.
But if you
had hands, you'd be a wide receiver.
Exactly. If you had hands, you'd be a wide receiver. But if you get but if you get that wide receiver that loves to play DB and wants to go play DB like Jair or like this kid, shit, that's awesome for interceptions, because they know how to fucking run routes and they know how to go get the football.
Yeah. And one of the things that really impressed me on his tape, like, there are a couple tackles he makes where he's catching downfield and just like he's tackling to not miss the tackle. But then there are other plays when he's pressed up on the line of scrimmage, there isn't necessarily a wide out to his side and they're in like a zone concept or something. And then he's able to diagnose a play and he keeps contained, which, for those of you who have coached like maybe middle high school level football, getting a DB to keep contained, my God, it's
getting
impossible.
Anybody to keep
it's hard enough to get a D lineman to actually keep contained. Once you start moving out to linebackers, it gets harder, and then DBs, it's good luck.
I remember with Isaac Martin. Sorry to blast you, Isaac. In high school, you struggled with containing an edge as a sophomore in high school and should have been starting outside linebacker for us. Couldn't contain that edge. And he also dislocated both his fingers that year, which was gnarly.
Both his 2 fingers. That's all he has.
It was this one was going that way and this one was going that way.
I thought you were about to just show them individually and we're going to flip a big old bird at the camera. But to go back,
they'll get a Johnny Cash image of me one day. Don't worry.
But Barnes did a good job keeping contained, and then when he had the opportunity, actually went in, pursued, and made an aggressive tackle. Right. So the physicality in his game is there. It's just maybe getting some more consistency or maybe just more confidence in his tackling.
Yeah.
That's a surprise kid that jumped out to me, being able to check out his highlights. And I think part of the reason he's flown under the radar is because of the camera work. It's tough to watch.
I'm convinced at this point the hardest one was the one through the glass. This was your typical, damn, I wish this glass window in front of me had windshield wipers so I could see better.
It was camera on the other side of glass that was covered in water droplets, then trying to get, it was brutal. But you know what else is brutal? The sport of MMA. So that's how I'm going to sort of parlay. And thank you all for hanging out with us and talking all this upcoming recruiting. It's the off season. Recruiting is what we've got right now. Once visit season and camp season starts to dial down, we'll get a little bit more creative. We'll try to do a little bit better than Mount Rushmore. We don't have the defensive 7-on-7 fantasy draft this week because we want to actually have Jacob here to be fair. I still think I won. If you tuned into last week's episode, if you tuned into last week's episode and listen, hop in those comments.
We need a graphic.
Who won the fantasy draft?
We need a graphic and we need a vote on Twitter for that final. I'm not going to just concede giving you a win in anything.
I got Lamar Jackson. I win.
You're going to win some favoritism points just based off that. And people are going to be like, oh, Keith's got Lamar. Bump.
Exactly.
But in all reality, I love Lamar, but Kyler Murray's a phenomenal pick too.
Oh yeah, and a great value pick too.
Yeah, he's like 5'3".
Anyway, we're not going to get. I'm going to grab the steering wheel and turn us back on course. So what are you talking about?
Oh, what am I talking about this week?
So Vince, what are you talking about this week? The floor is yours.
So as of the time, I guess it would be a week ago now. Everyone knows on this show that I'm a huge MMA fan. Do Fight Night Fiesta with Tanner Brumesso and ESPN Louisville. But last weekend, I'm watching the cards, right? Everything's great. Cards win. They beat Vandy on Saturday. Me and my buddies are like, all right, let's turn on MMA. There's still MMA on. Come to find out, the main event gets canceled and damn near like a Owen Hart-esque situation. This is what Chael Sonnen compared it to.
Jeez.
Well, because MMA, UFC, they weigh in on Friday. She missed weight.
Yeah.
She looked deathly thin up there on the scale too. Come Saturday, they record her walking into the arena. Erin Blanchfield, the woman she's getting ready to fight, walks into the arena. Erin Blanchfield's getting ready to make the walk. All of a sudden, cuts to commentators. Everything's there. You can tell they're stalling.
Yeah.
Come to find out, she was having seizures in the locker room.
Jeez.
And she was having medical issues. The sport of MMA is weird. It's not like football or anything. Like, these people were the toughest people in the world, where she's having such a severe medical issue that she's like, oh, well, maybe it'll surpass 3 weeks out from my fight, 2 weeks out from my fight. It's fight week. Maybe I can get through it. And then she tries to get through it, misses weight. Now she looks unprofessional. And then also has to cancel the main event the day, not just the day of, like as it's about to happen. And there's nothing she can do about it because she's having a seizure. But it's like, man, talk about a weekend ruined. And it was already a bad card, boring fights. There were a couple people that missed weight that Friday.
Yeah.
It's like, it was hard for me as a fight fan. And I'm just going to call my shot now as this episode's coming out. It's great to have Sean O'Malley as a champion again. Hope I don't look like an idiot.
All right. Well, I'll try to do a little shot calling as well, because what I'm talking about, it's probably my favorite sport outside of football. It's definitely my favorite.
I had to guess F1.
You know what? That's Oracle Red Bull Racing. You know what? That's fair. That's a fair guess, but no. Stanley Cup Final. It's going on right now. Game 1 was absolutely electric. We got overtime playoff hockey, Game 1. It's a rematch of last year's Stanley Cup Final. Sergei Bobrovsky, the #1 cop on the force, Sasha Barkov and the Florida Panthers taking on Connor McJesus, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and the Edmonton Oilers in the Stanley Cup Final. Florida won the championship last year. It's underway. Game 1, Edmonton sneaks out a win in overtime in an absolute thriller of a game. Game 2 is going on right now as we're recording this. The Vice City Kitties are up 1-0 in the first period. So I'm going to be diving in. I believe we got a couple of days off until the next game, so I believe it's Sunday will be Game 3. I'm assuming it'll be Game 4, Game 5 by the time that this comes out. Tune in. I'm calling my shot. This series, like last year, is going to 7. It's the 2 best teams in hockey, hands down.
Who do you have winning it, though?
I've been a Sergei Bobrovsky stan for close to a decade now. Yeah. I ain't turning my back. I ain't turning my back on Big Game Bob.
Hold on
now.
Georgetown about came out there. I ain't turning my back on nobody.
That's Owington. That ain't even Georgetown. I'm not turning my back on Big Safe Bob. Sergei Bobrovsky and the Vice City Kitties get it in 7. Tune in. Hockey is electric. If you are a football guy, this is the closest thing to football you're probably going to get for a while outside of the UFL. And playoff hockey is absolutely electric. I will clamor and tell as many people as I need to, get in there, watch it, and you're going to have a great time.
Jacob's going to hear this part and be like, you guys really didn't fucking talk about the NBA Finals?
Who cares?
Exactly. Who cares, Jacob?
This ain't the basketball podcast.
No. You got to, if
you want basketball, especially University of Louisville basketball, Tune into the Starting 502 podcast here on the State of Louisville Podcast Network.
Yes.
If you're on the YouTube channel, they upload regularly as well. If you're on the audio feed, make sure you hop over there, follow or subscribe.
You know who I'm really looking forward to hammering, especially if we win this weekend, is 3rd and Central.
3rd and Central, the University of Louisville baseball podcast. Also on the State of Louisville
That's
podcast.
ironic. Wow.
Wow. These guys have been following the Cards all season, and ain't nobody does it better.
Dude,
it's the only podcast.
They're getting into the live game.
Yeah,
the
live
shows and stuff. That's been awesome to see. That's cool. Yeah. I mean, it's awesome to have people just that know baseball just like us
and follow Louisville exclusively.
Exactly, man. There's just something about it. And like we said at the beginning of the podcast, postseason baseball and Jim Patterson, there's nothing better. So getting the 2-3 best guys, if they ended up getting more people to come on as a guest or anything like that, getting them talking about the best weekend in Louisville baseball, it's the best and the best.
So rooting for Panthers over the weekend, rooting for
Sean O'Malley
over the weekend.
And Kayla Harrison. Hammer Kayla. Well, I guess it'll already be over. I'm going to go ahead and say Kayla Harrison wins as well.
And most importantly, support the Louisville baseball Cards. They're still in season right now, up 1-0 on the Miami Hurricanes in their series. So fingers crossed, we've sealed up a trip to Omaha by the time this comes out. And we've got Louisville baseball getting us through a few more weeks of summer.
It's awesome. Playoff baseball is fun, not just at the college level, but, my New York Yankees too. Even though we put up football numbers against the Dodgers like 3-4 weeks ago. I mean, they beat us 18-4.
Pretty sure that game had a higher GDP than most developed countries.
All right, this has been from the Pink Seats podcast. You can close it out now, Keith.
No, I was waiting. Let's get the Vince LeCoco dismount.
Oh, I can't do that.
I believe in you.
What do we? And you've been listening to From the Pink Seats podcast on the State of Louisville Podcast Network.
Go Cards.
Go Cards.